Wow, I'm tired. Do you ever feel in the morning at school you're tired? Well, you're not alone. Most teens do not get enough sleep. One study found that only 15% reported sleeping 8.5 hours on school nights, which was found on sleepfoundation.org. Not getting enough sleep is found common amongst students. Sleep is a very important aspect of our life and allows us to perform better when we get the required amount of sleep each night. Students need about 9 hours of sleep each night to maintain good health and keep high academic performances. With students' busy schedules and the way our bodies function, I believe it is essential that schools start at 8:30 a.m. or later to allow students to perform the best and keep good health. Starting school at 8:30 will allow students to get closer to that 9 hours of recommended sleep each night. Getting 9 hours of sleep will become much easier when schools start to push the start time to a later time. Sleep is necessary for your body to rebuild and repair, and for your brain to go through REM sleep and set and refresh for the next day. A quote that I found from health.com states adequate sleep is a key part of a healthy lifestyle and can benefit your heart, weight, and more. So starting school after 8:30 allows students to feel alert and awake so they can perform optimally the next day. Without enough sleep, students and myself included do not perform as well as we should in the classrooms. And a study that I found on aasm.net states recent studies have shown that adequate sleep is essential to feeling awake and alert, maintaining good health, and working at peak performances, says Dr. Epsom. After 2 weeks of sleeping 6 hours or less a night, students feel as bad and perform as poorly as someone who has gone without sleep for 48 hours. So these students prove that not getting enough sleep has extremely negative effects on students. These effects may not always be evident to everyone though. Many adults find it convenient that school starts at 8 a.m. so they can drop their children off before work. But for high school students, that shouldn't apply to them. It may be the case for children who can't drive, but once they're in high school, they can just drive themselves. Also, younger children haven't hit puberty yet, and their sleep schedules are much different than high school students, allowing them to get the 9 hours of sleep that they need each night. High school students would find the most benefits from a later start time, and for this reason, um, their schedules are proven on capandonline.org. In the article, Later Start Time for Teens Improves Grades, Mood, and Safety by Kyla Wallstrom. Teens need about 9.25 hours of sleep each night, a difficult amount to obtain when the brain doesn't enter sleep mode until about 10:45 p.m. and when students must awaken early for a school day that starts before 8:30 a.m. Many of you may ask why I say 8:30 or later would be a good start time. Well, a study shown on the American Academy of Pediatrics found that this would be the best time. It doesn't mess with sleep schedules, which is essential, and but just enough to allow students to get more sleep would also be essential. And a quote found by AAP, the American Academy of Pediatrics, says in a new policy statement published online August 24th in 2014, the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that middle and high school students delay the start time until 8:30 a.m. or later. 8:30 allows students to get more sleep at night, but still allows schools to dismiss at a decent time in the afternoon. So this means that you might push back school a half hour, which means you push back dismissal a half hour. And in order for me to get this proposition to pass, I would have to find enough evidence and take it to the school board and parents. And I would have to talk to them about the positives of it and how well or how good the effects will be on students and how well they will perform in the classroom and how essential sleep is. And for many high school students, they can drive or if they can get a ride from their friend. And many parents won't have to give them a ride that way. And I would have to show them how students are affected by sleep deprivation and how it affects us students deeply. And the more things that I show them, the more likely it will that they will agree and move in my direction. However, these negatives come nowhere near the positives, like giving your son a ride to school or finding him a ride. That's nowhere near for the positives because your son will now be performing way better in the classroom. Starting school later allows students to get 9 hours of sleep each night, which will then help them perform well in the classroom and have better health. After telling you about all the positives it can have on students when school starts at 8:30 or later, I hope you too will agree that school should start later. Thank you.